Ready?
And welcome, everyone. It's Saturday.
What?
Yeah. So let's convene the meeting, the SBAR meeting of October 21st, call to order.
On down there.
Beginning with item number 1, public comment. Is there anyone from the public or online that would like to make comment on any item that's not on the agenda? If so, please raise your hand. See no hands and no one in the audience. So we'll move on to item number 2, the agenda status.
Let's see. So I only have one update. So for item number 4, when our applicant is here, we'll take that out of order. This one, the applicant, this is the one that I made a special note on the member agenda. So I did talk to the planner about this. I talked to the architect. So when this item was renoticed, it should have been renoticed for preliminary and final as well. The planner, the architect did make changes, and I told him, let's go through the changes and then just make sure that the PAR is still fine with this going back to preliminary and final. We can put you on consent next time. So I told him we'll take him out of order when he comes in because he had a meeting with the consent.
So it was supposed to go to prelim final on consent.
Prelim final consent, but I told him if I'm not going to put something I renoticed on consent, but it should at least been prelim final on standard.
Okay.
But renoticed. So I think that is the only change that I have on this.
All right. Moving forward then, item number 3, the minutes from September 23rd.
Well, on item 2.
Clarify, I think we're looking at minutes from October 7th, right?
Oh, sorry, it said 23rd, but yeah, I guess that would be October 7th.
In item 2, it's on A, it says project is acceptable, charming design.
Ooh, sounds nice.
That's kind of affectionate, but is that okay?
Yeah,
All
I
right.
think so. Unless you'd like to suggest an alternate word.
Now, charming is,
Charming is charming.
I know.
Okay.
We're just going to minutes right now.
Yeah. Item 3.
Well, I mean, we use the word undulation in roof lines. Is variation better?
Yeah.
I mean, we use the word a couple times
Yeah,
here.
you have undulation in natural landforms, which makes more sense. So variation in roof lines.
Yeah, variation in roof line is better. Had a lot of undulation there.
Undulation.
You know, and we have,
We should probably just add the board appreciate to A. The board appreciates shifting development lower down the site.
yeah,
And what about G? Study softening of motor core to reduce paving and better sculpt the hardscape terrace areas.
yeah,
Undulate, maybe?
how about integrate
Yeah. I agree with
and better integrate the hardscape terrace?
This is not a grammatical thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. 4.
I did add A and
You're gonna type
B,
in this whole
yes.
group.
requested last.
Okay.
Wow, this is a couple. Okay, anything else on 4 or anything at all?
No, I don't have anything.
Okay, 5, okay, yes.
I mean, on D, why don't you make it a little bit straighter and say differentiate design? To have, because to make it straight.
Okay.
Hold on a second. That was an interesting process.
6,
Wait, this two an important project.
oh, sorry.
Hold on a second. Well, this is, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, did you already revise G?
No,
On number 5?
no, haven't mentioned G.
That seems like it should be more specific. More articulation in roof breakups and massing roof and massing
And massing.
breakups.
Sorry, could you say that one more time?
In roof and massing.
Yeah. Don't study, provide it.
So provide,
More articulation in roof lines and structure massing.
got that, Alex?
These two, 4 and 5, we view them together. They were one next to the other.
Yeah.
And they were a difficult project. So let me go back to 4, where
Yeah.
B seems to be a lot of development on a steep slope. Yeah. I would just put it, development seems excessive. Seems
Given limited
Given-
lot size and steep slope.
Okay, got that, Alex?
Yeah. And then on 5G, I have provide more articulation in roof lines and structure massing. Or structure mass.
Yeah. I mean.
I think
That letter G could go on item 4 as well. The one we just reworked.
and I think the story post will go also on 4. Be both together, right?
Yeah, 4.
Oh, that's the current say that.
Letter E, yeah.
Can you guys speak up just a little bit?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm having a little hard time hearing everyone but Chris.
Yeah, we're having a little trouble hearing you too.
Are you, yeah, Alex, are you near your mic?
One sec.
Is there a volume option on?
Yeah, and it's all the way up.
So can we,
Is this any better?
Yes. A little bit, yeah.
we should duplicate some of the comments for number 4 as that are on 5,
Okay,
like letter B from 5, letter A from 5. You know, that's adjacent development on project plans, both projects in 3D rendering. Letter C, show profile view of projects below. It shows, I mean, we, just to be really clear that it applies to both projects, so we should duplicate those.
A, B, and C.
Yeah, A, B, and C from
Okay.
5 on 4. And D, right, it keeps going. And C,
So A, B.
they're up because they're the same.
Yeah.
You know, they both had the heavy stone tower.
Okay.
And didn't show the context, the view from below, the 3D rendering.
So the stone tower comment too?
Yeah. And then that letter G that we just reworked for item 5, I think that should go on item 4 as well. About breaking up massing and roof lines and articulation.
We do have to make sure it was,
So I have,
if it
was
was.
the,
Okay. Go ahead, Alex.
so was it provide more articulation in roof lines and structure mass? Was that adequate?
Yeah,
Yes.
structure massing.
Structure.
Still having trouble hearing you, Alex. Maybe that makes a difference.
Try saying something, Alex.
That, it's David's fault.
You want me to say something?
Ah,
Sorry, we had someone else in the.
Technical
using here. I'm gonna
difficulties.
blame them.
Yeah.
That's what the video is not working that as a result as well. So,
Oh, okay. All right, so where are we? Are we good
And-
with,
Well, letter J on item 5, right, provide or further develop site plan that shows walls and circulation is similar but different to letter F, provide slope and grading analysis. Do we want to combine those and make them the same on both?
Well, it does say on F, it does say provides,
Slope and grading analysis.
and in both of them say that. One says.
Oh, yeah, you're right,
I.
So then it was it distinct to item 5, this further develop site plan that shows walls and circulation?
I think one had more, walls, the second one had more walls going down the,
Okay.
going down the slope.
That's fine.
Okay,
So
Okay.
on 4, we have 2 comments about the stone tower now. One says carrying over from number 5, the stone tower feels heavy. But we also have a comment saying tower element seems overly simple. Do both of those still apply?
it'd be heavy and over.
Yeah, it could be both together.
Okay.
Yeah. On both, because they're the same on both.
Okay, so yes,
All right, so let me just run through this because there's been a lot of edits. So for 4, I have show adjacent development on project plans, show both projects in 3D renderings, show profile view of project from below to show site context, provide rendered elevations, provide context rendering from public vantage point, differentiated the design between the 2 projects, restudy use of stone up high on elevations, tower is heavy and overly simple. Development seems excessive, giving lot size and steep slopes, study reducing extent of development to pull it in and reduce boxiness. Provide more articulation in roof lines and structure massing. Study ways to soften and tuck in lower level skirting. Site visit with story poles will be required. Provide slope and grading analysis. So that's 4.
Okay.
5 was more or less stayed the same with a couple of those minor edits.
sounds good.
Yeah,
okay.
sounds good.
Okay.
We're down to 7 then.
That's a 7.
6.
7.
Okay.
It's here.
I did give those plans to the project plan number 6, by the way. Verify.
Should C be more direct? I wasn't there, but consider landscape screening means, maybe.
not sure what happened. Well,
Yeah, let me see.
William, do we have? What you guys think? Tell us.
I wasn't there.
I was-
This is what happens, Grace. You mess.
I know,
And then the
it's like
landscaping.
Chaos.
You know,
Our meeting ended fast.
Yeah.
Chris, I think it was set as pretty
Okay.
light.
Yeah, because there is existing.
There's
screening.
existing
I think he
screening
just
and,
needed to like,
Holster.
yeah,
Yeah.
and take a look at it.
and I think we were talking about on the
Really
side
far
of
off
that
the road.
tractor barn,
Yeah.
that he could consider some plants right there.
And
Okay.
he repeats that. 'Cause
No big deal then.
this is like the big.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 8.
Okay.
Number 9.
For C, planting adjacent to structures or graded areas is not shown. Maybe it should be worded, planting adjacent to structures or graded areas should be shown.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like, oh yeah, that's what we
Yeah.
didn't show it.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 10.
Yeah, the comment A, what exactly does it mean?
Oh, recessed into the.
No, I know, but.
I think that was added because there was a comment letter commenting on the heaters.
It
So I
was-
think it was acknowledging or recognizing that they are in fact recessed.
Yeah,
We don't need it if you don't think it's necessary.
If you say heaters are recessed
into
in
ceiling.
response.
In the trellis or in a single,
What was it, a deck or,
an outdoor trellis?
Was this the Summerlin deck?
yeah.
Yeah, so in
It was
response
like a
to
stucco
Yeah.
public comment.
deck.
Yeah. Heaters are recessed in response to public comment.
I don't think it was officially the Summerlin Review Board.
The board appreciates that the heaters are recessed. or something.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
clear. I like that. Top of faux tree should be rounded off.
Yeah.
Now that's an architectural comment. if I ever heard.
Thank you, I made that comment.
It's a landscape comment.
Okay. So someone want to make a motion to amend those minutes?
So move.
I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor?
All right.
Opposed?
I have to recuse.
Yeah, also recusing, I was not here.
As opposed to.
Yeah. No, I didn't, I said, are there any opposed? Yeah. Okay, item 4, SBAR members informational briefings. Have anything to share with the class?
We had at least one.
Oh, I have to step down for item number 3.
I have to recuse from number 7. I did work for the owner.
Anything else? Nope. Item 5, staff update.
I just have, I don't recall if I said this to just Josh and to you or the whole board, but I did get a communication from Tracy Burnell about how he has erected story goals already for a project that's scheduled to come for review at your November 4th meeting. I think he said it was fine, but I didn't schedule a site visit for a conceptual review item, but I guess I'm kind of curious what you want to do with that too. I can send you the information if you want to go see it on your own, if you want to wait until after the board and see what the project is first.
Does it have story poles because of the neighbors or,
Yeah.
or the, okay.
Yeah,
And where
And they
is
want to
this?
take them down, I guess.
yeah, good, good, yeah. I have to double check.
It's nearby, or, I mean, we can stop by.
Yeah, I mean, today we didn't really necessarily need to do a full board site visit for these story polls, and it probably could have been taken care of on our own. So if this is in that same vein,
That's lame.
That's why it was discussed at the city council.
Oh, okay. For the full, so everybody's there.
I was actually trying to get it happening before lunch. So we could go to lunch.
I mean,
Maybe
we would go to this Summerland
Oh, it's in summer.
thing by ourselves.
try and get it back.
Yeah,
I'd double check there.
right, right.
Going.
Okay, the problem is we haven't seen it yet.
Right.
I'm saying that, Robert.
Yeah, okay. Oh, we're scheduled to see it on the 4th.
Yeah, on your next meeting.
Neighbors want the story poles taken down. The 4th is 2 weeks away.
Yeah, we could see before the meeting, right?
So we can do it informal, I continue the address, or I can put it
Yeah.
on the agenda later in the day. if you want.
I mean, I think we would want to see the plans before we go to the site.
Well, we can email.
I can share that.
Yeah.
We can share the
I have
plans
it.
and
Yeah,
we can.
and then we should maybe have a, I mean, what's the date that everybody would need to be there by if we want to get the story poles down? The 4th or sometime before
Oh,
that?
I think he's gonna leave them up until this.
Right. But if we go individually, do we go see
Yeah,
them by the 1st? So they can get them down
Yeah,
faster? or-
could we do it sometime next week? Drive-bys on our own?
Yeah.
And so that by next Friday, we can take them down? One thing the neighbors want story posts, then they don't want to look
Yeah, I
at.
know.
them. Take 'em down.
I was gonna say that. It's a lot better than the actual house.
It is in Summerlin, indeed. It's on Almond Street in Summerlin.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and I suspect that is the reason why the notices for that are going out today, but I've already received 3 comment letters.
Uh-huh.
So I think as a result of the story polls.
Right.
Okay,
So if we say that if you can give us plans by whenever, today or Monday, if we can all drive by next Friday,
Yeah, what day is that?
today's the 21st,
28th.
28th,
Drive-by the 28th.
or should we just say the 1st? Let's say the 1st.
Okay,
in case it's, we
that
can
gives
do it
the
on the
weekend
or
or
something.
two.
okay, I'll let them know. I'll send that picture to you after.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. That was it for me.
Can I be a real troublemaker here and bring up one thing from the minutes,
Mhm.
even though we already approved them? And it has to do with the Montecito Ranch house.
Which item?
Um,
2, 3? Montecito Ranch.
3.
residence?
3, yeah, that's the one that sits in the white hole of Summerlin, you know, close to the freeway. Now, during the meeting, I brought up concerns about the style of it. That didn't get into the minutes, and I'm sorry I wasn't focusing on that when we reviewed them.
Mhm.
But I kind of feel like this board should weigh in on that. I did bring it up because it's really visible from the freeway. It's right next to the Summerlin cottages, which are also really visible from the freeway, and they're all, you know,
Cottage.
cottages. And then I think the next building that you see from the freeway is some weird Edison utility structure. But so I just think, given how Summerlin is as a community and the way they pay so much attention to all these things,
When you say style, do you mean like the Spanish style?
Yeah.
Versus having it be more vernacular,
Yeah.
like beach
Yeah.
house or craftsman style?
yeah, and that as a board, we ought to acknowledge that in some form. If the majority of the board is comfortable with that, because the other more Mediterranean structures in the White Hole, they're not visible at all from
I
the
remember, well, I
freeway.
remember you and Alex both were concerned about the massing too. You have the
Oh,
big
yeah.
Stone base with large.
Yeah, and we
we
have those
kind of-
comments.
I said we look commercial, right?
Yeah,
Some kind of thing like a
I said
hotel.
it
kind of
looked
thing.
like a hotel.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
But it
so
looks like a
that's different From
Mediterranean.
a style thing, so I don't remember us talking about
I understand your
I
point.
know you brought that up.
It
at
was the
first
first
meeting.
thing I said.
Yeah,
I remember you mentioning
Yeah,
that.
no, I
yeah.
said it
I
at
don't have
the,
any
this,
problem with that being the minute.
Yeah.
It's something they should study. I mean, I think what you're looking for is compatibility with Summerlin.
Right.
That's the key
Yeah.
issue here. It's like, needs to feel like a part of the Summerlin community of architectural.
right.
So-
And
so
that
wait,
was
wait,
my
wait,
Hold on a
point.
second. Yeah.
Let me
so-
suggest the following. Highly visible, that B says highly visible site requires careful study and compatibility with the Summerlin community.
Yeah, well.
Is
it-
that
it
good
has to-
enough? or-
It
yeah.
has to do with the fact that Summerlin is divided into these different
Mhm.
neighborhoods. And so they use the fact that it's in the white hole as being, well, then it's fine to be whatever, to be Mediterranean. Summerlin community members were saying that's not what it's connected to. It's connected to the cottages. It's connected to coming into the town and seeing all these cottagey type of buildings. So.
So give us a comment. and We'll
Highly-
reopen the minutes. and then we'll-
Highly visible site requires study. What did you say again? 'Cause maybe we could be more specific, but use what,
To, compatibility with with the adjacent.
with the adjacent community,
Summerlin community.
yeah, with the adjacent Summerlin community.
But what did you say? The design vernacular or something? of
Well,
Immediate surroundings?
Instead of community adjacent Summerlin style would be more specific,
Yeah, something to that effect.
more aesthetic. Now that's too intellectual.
But I think we should give it a little bit, we were not, I mean, I know you mentioned it, but we're not that specific.
No, we weren't specific.
So we should give it a little bit of latitude on this.
Mhm.
It
Should you
just
say
seems like a
board is
fair thing.
concerned about? The design style considering the vernacular
Of
immediately
the
adjacent.
adjacent structures.
Yeah,
Yeah. Because again, it's not the fact that it's part of the white hole, because those aren't adjacent. They're on the other side of the freeway. They're hidden behind
So-
huge trees.
Alex, did you?
Could you say that, sorry, one more time?
I think it should be on B, right? Like, maybe like. a
Under
second-
B, so-
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so how would you like to wait? Highly visible study requires careful study. The board is concerned about compatibility with adjacent Summerland style. What word would you like to use? Oh, guys, help me out.
So, well,
Adjacent Summerlin style
aesthetic,
building.
Aesthetic,
Okay,
aesthetic, right?
yeah,
The immediate adjacent,
yeah, it's the immediate adjacent
Summerlin
Summerlin aesthetic.
Period.
Yeah.
That gives guidance, is not bulletproof, but I think we were not, I think it's consistent with what we said. We cannot change the right.
so
I
yeah.
mean, I
we're-
can see
we-
they might ask for a vote from us.
Yeah.
Because, they want it to be Mediterranean. So then either the board as a whole goes, yeah, that's fine.
So they're gonna come back.
It's not like they're gonna change the style.
Yeah. Okay, so let's wrap this up.
So the board is concerned with compatibility with the immediate adjacent Summerlin aesthetic?
Yes, I think that sounds good to me, seems fair. It
Yeah.
doesn't go beyond what we said at the meeting.
Okay,
Okay.
perfect. All right, so let's vote again, or somebody make a motion.
Make a motion to
So-
approve the
so-
revised minutes.
And I'll second it again.
Okay, all those in favor?
all right,
All opposed, and then 2 abstentions remain. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to the standard agenda, we had a site visit today at 9 AM at 4343 Luna Drive, and that is our first item today. It's the Newton demo, new single-family dwelling. Request of Don Nolte, architect, for Charles Newton. The conceptual review of a new residence of 8,578 square feet. With attached garage of 851 square feet, basement 1,096, covered terrace 585, and swimming pool and a spa. This is 700 cubic yards of cut and 0 yards of fill, 2.41 acre parcel. As I said, 4343 Marina Drive. Last heard March 18th of this year. And we have several comments from last time, but if you could state your name for the record.
Robert Foley, representing Don Nolte Architects.
Okay, Robert, I guess I'll just read through these real quick. A, architectural style and site layout is well executed. Need to ensure adequate screening on west property line. Consider more landscaping around patio space. Board appreciates the meandering driveway. Study opportunity to reduce extent of motor court paving. Study opportunities to soften austerity of the architecture where possible. Window package needs more study. Return with more carefully articulated exterior elevations. Study west elevation to address blank walls. Update 3D model to incorporate proposed hardscape and landscape elements. Provide entry gate details and site visit with story poles required. So, Robert, whenever you're ready, go ahead and start your presentation. We'll give you
Okay.
10 minutes.
Okay. I shouldn't need that much time. So most of you went to the site today. There's a house that was built in the 50s that's going to be torn down. It's a bluff top site. You can go to the next. Well, can you zoom into statistics on square footage? We have reduced the house from the size that you saw before. Hope Ranch has larger setbacks. They have 25-foot setbacks, and they have a more of a stricter height limitation, 25 feet instead of 28 feet. So we are within their guidelines, their square footage, their setbacks, all of that. You can go to the proposed site plan. I just want to play with this thing. There it is. So the site is now situated based on the bluff setbacks. You can see those diagonal lines that set the setback for the pool and the house. We are still working with a biologist to determine exactly what those are going to be. It's been a long process. It keeps going back and forth between the counties and our geologists. And the latest one we have is the setback, or is that green dot? Why aren't you not doing this right?
Let's push harder.
Press the button, right? Okay. It won't stay on. Okay, so right now you can see that right there. That's going to move to about there, hopefully. And with that done, it will help us save a few oak trees. And it will also reduce the grading, and it will also reduce the height of the building because the land will be on a lower piece of land. And I don't think this will help, but if something can be put in the minutes about maybe the board would prefer that location over the current location, that it would be better grading wise, better for the trees. Where we want to put it is already disturbed land with a house on it. It seems like a logical place to put it. I don't think it will affect the final decision of the setback, but it would be nice if you guys could put that in there in minutes. You can go to the next slide. The basic floor plans of the house haven't really changed all that much. We have the garage to the left, and we have a tall wall with an entry garden straight through. You can see the ocean. We have a gym and offices on the right, and then the living part of the house, the family room, breakfast room, kitchen, side entry, and a dining room on the left. Upstairs, we have the master bedroom in the center of the house with a balcony, bath and closets. Then we have four bedrooms and 4 baths, a little sitting room for the kids. They do have a large family. And then eventually they're thinking grandchildren. So we have a little bunkhouse over the garage that will have some bunk beds. And then in the basement, go up. Do you have a question? You want to keep going? Okay. So here's a study of the height requirements that we did for Hope Ranch. Well, those don't look, so these are sharper images from a 3D model that we did. So that's facing the ocean. And you could just keep going. Go to the next one. There's the two side elevations where we did add some windows, cleaned it up some from the first time you saw it. It should be one elevation there. You passed over something. The front. There it is. Okay. So that's the front when you look at when you come in. So we try to get that rhythmic going on the second floor windows. We do have a band. Below the band on the front of the house will be a light colored, very smooth limestone. And all the bands around the windows will be limestone. And then at the second floor will have rafter tails, wood rafter tails, except in the middle where we have above the front door, we're going to have a cut stone cornice. And it will be on the back of the house where the master bedroom is right there. The rest of it's rafter tails. And then these lower sections on the back of the house, those would be a stone cornice as well. And I think, is there anything left? So those are the two sides. We have the windows on the second floor, eliminated the blank walls. I think that's it.
May I, can you hear me? This is Don Nolte.
Oh, hey, Don.
Hi. Yeah, I think Robert mentioned at the site visit that we didn't address the landscaping here because it's so crucial on this final sighting that we're going to get from the Bluff report. And we're with this peer review geologist company in Ventura, and it's become very complicated. I think they're going to base future, policies on this particular project. And we hope that we can get to this forward spot that the geologist is showing us, but the peer review is, I don't know, it's going, hopefully we can get that, but I don't think we can promise the house is going to be moved until we know that for sure, but we're doing everything we can to get it as close to those setbacks as possible.
Okay.
Thank you.
So should we then table some of these other comments, for example?
I think so. Yeah, I think when we find, we will look at that landscape plan and your comments at that time when we finally get a location approved, and then we'll apply your comments that were made at that time.
It was really just a little interim meeting, basically,
Okay.
until you get that straightened out.
Is there
Yeah, we wanted to get the story posts done for the neighbors and get those down. They've been up for a couple of months. So the Hope Ranch board requested them, and we're just trying to move along what we can. So when we finally do get this bluff setback, we can really make some good progress.
Okay, thank you. So let's bring it to the board for questions.
is there a 3D model? We haven't seen it. Is there a 3D model?
We do have a 3D model that was based on the first design we did. We haven't updated that model. We are planning to, once the final location is determined, we're going to do a photorealistic 3D model. But again, we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves.
Second question, is there stone? I have to see.
Yeah, so
on the walls?
you can see part of the house is slightly darker than the rest of the house, and those areas, that's going to be the cut limestone.
Very good.
Okay, other questions?
Yeah, can you go to the other elevations? So where the three arches are, and that's kind of a covered loggia,
Correct.
right? Is that all plaster? And what are the columns?
The columns will be stone, the arches will be stone, and then there'll be a plaster in between the surround in the deck, and then you'll see the deck edge will have a stone across the face.
It looks a little crowded.
Think it looks a little tight?
Yeah. just-
Well, we're losing 3 feet in Hope Ranch because with the height limitations. So if we had another 3 feet, we would have made the first floor ceiling height higher,
Yeah.
second floor height a little higher. So, yeah,
It's
it would-
visually the amount of plaster before the.
maybe we could,
Crowded.
we could lower those down a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay,
We'd love to have that extra 3 feet, but we don't.
And while we're on this, the north elevation, the little, what is that? Some sort of trellis element, is that attached to the house or is that
What are you looking at?
right at the front door?
That's.
That's a stone surround at the front entrance.
Okay. And
That's just it's only 6 inches deep.
okay. Got it. Okay, it's not a trellis. Okay. Other questions? All right, anyone from the public that would like to speak on this item? There's nobody here and nobody online. So back to the board for comments. Anyone?
The site visit was very informative. I don't have any concerns in terms of mass, bulk, and scale and location of this project. It seems to be going in a good direction. I like the style. It could be softened a little bit. It seems a little bit of austere, like mentioned earlier, but it's getting there. It's it's moving along fine.
Okay. Anyone else?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay, so I think, does anyone want to comment for the applicant's request that the board would prefer the home to be closer to where the existing? Oh, your presentation's over.
As a planner, I can tell you, you're welcome to comment, but that won't really have any impact on the ultimate
Yeah, I don't think so. But
buffer setback for,
Sounds good.
but up to you.
I had one small comment in the north, southwest corner there by the pool. There's a terrace. Is that a terrace, like a sitting terrace?
on the east or west side,
West side.
On the west.
on the bottom,
Yeah.
that is a sort of a gathering area that you would have some chairs, maybe a fire pit or something.
Allowed to do that in the setback?
Yes.
Okay. I guess,
If it's flat work, yeah.
all right, fair enough. So I think that's about it.
So the comments from last time regarding
Yeah,
like landscaping and
I think all of these we just bring forward because they're gonna need to address them.
Is the
So-
motor parking, is that addressed or what? There was a comment there.
What was that, Alex?
Just reduce extent of motor court paving, but I think you have,
Yes, well, we did do that, actually.
you did, okay.
And we also addressed the windows on the east-west side of the house.
Mhm.
We have not done the entry gate. We did address some of the comments on the north-south elevations. As far as Alex's comment about softening the house, we did try to put shutters and maybe soften it, but the image that we're going for is we're trying to make it more, I wouldn't say modern, but more clean. So it's not less country Italian and more city. And so that's why it looks
Mhm.
that way.
No, I understand, and it's difficult, but I think you're going the right direction.
Okay, good. I'm glad you think so.
Let's decide which ones do go forward. A, B.
sorry, my numbering is now off because I've been adding more comments, so
Read it. So architectural style and site layout is well executed. Yes, I
Okay.
guess you can carry that forward. Need to
Okay.
ensure screening on the west property line.
That has been done as well. There's the landscape plan. I'm not sure why it's not in there, but there's a landscape plan that has edging and trees all over.
Okay, well, since we don't have the plan, we'll just leave it in there.
Okay, that's fine.
Consider more landscaping around patio space.
No
landscape
again,
plans.
yeah, so move that forward.
Board appreciates meandering driveway, could probably take that out at this point. Study opportunities to reduce extent of motor court paving. I still think it looks very large, but what does the rest of the board feel?
Well, it's sort of dependent upon the paving pattern also.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, one thing to see is you can see the dash line. that is our fire truck turnaround. So, and we need to get out of the garage. We also have to provide parking.
Yeah.
So it's,
Show us what the required parking is.
Hope Ranch is, I don't know off the top of my head. but
It's
Hope-
six spaces.
6 spaces,
So it's
all
3 covered and 3 uncovered.
2 covered, 4 uncovered, I believe.
So anyway, I mean, throw some cars in there.
Okay,
Opportunities to soften austerity of architecture, window package needs more study.
No, well, getting back, I mean, it's almost there. Really.
Okay,
Yeah.
so. I mean, to me, I think the north and south elevations look really good. I think the east and west look like they need, maybe we can just go to those real quick. I guess some of that is a lot of wall space. I think the thing, that on that west elevation, just above that arching door, that just seems like a huge amount. That's all stone, right?
yes.
Okay, should we remove that comment?
No, I mean, I think there's a excessive amount of stone of it. The scale of it looks kind of odd with that much stone above that curved window.
But we'd change the comment. Do you want to take a stab at it,
Well,
or should does anyone else have any input on that?
Can you
Okay.
go back to the other one just to see how they relate? So he has a high band, which is about 2/3 or so, and the bottom is stone, right?
Right.
Oh, so all that
Yeah.
first
that's-
floor is
yeah,
All the
stone.
way across,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, and then when you go out now in the
When you get to the south elevation, though, it's all plaster. on the
yeah, so
bottom,
it switches.
Right.
Yeah, and the
Well,
transition
it turns the corner and then ends on an inside corner.
Of the chimney.
Some of it, on one side, it runs into the chimney, and one side, it sort of dives into an inside corner.
I think
I
maybe
think that the back, it's the openings because of the ocean view. It seems like it would be difficult to have stone there.
maybe the comment should be study the extent of the stone veneer and the transition to plaster. Just study, okay?
Okay,
Yeah, it does seem like it gets awkward.
And it's a
I
little
agree
hard
with-
to tell too, because the rendering just shows it as a little bit gray.
Yeah.
and
right.
stone. So that's where I think your
The 3D
3D
will
model
help.
will help.
So usually the tradition is usually like 1/3 the bottom and 2/3 the top. That's kind of more tradition. You're going the other way around, and I'm sure you have your reasons. So
It's okay, but it's like, but then you have to stop it on the south, so it doesn't feel integrated all the way around.
All right, so I think that we got the comment. So that's F. And then I think we could remove G. And
G is which one?
return with more carefully articulated exterior elevations.
Yeah, we don't
Okay.
need more, we just want the 3D.
You can remove study west elevation to address. blank
Okay.
wall, I guess.
The first one had more blank walls that was done in anticipation of privacy to the neighbors.
Okay.
So we've added some windows to the east and west.
Update 3D model to incorporate proposed hardscape and landscape that would remain. Provide entry gate details remains, and that's it.
Further conceptual, once the setback is resolved?
Yeah,
Or-
further prelim.
The question here, so this is a CDH, so the question is, are you gonna wanna see it again, before it moves on to the, permit approval?
Zoning approval.
Yeah,
So do they see it before it goes to zoning administrator, or is it,
well, that's up to them.
they can't see it for preliminary? They can only. see it for-
Preliminary, yeah, preliminary comes after approval of the CDH.
It doesn't seem, that makes sense.
Well, I think we need to see the landscape and all that.
Yeah, I think, I mean, if the house is gonna move, yeah, I think, so we'll come back for the conceptual.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. All good? Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Item number 2, Duke's Accessory Structures. Request of Sophie Calvin, agent for Dr. Jonathan and Jane Dukes
You can give them
For-
the bag back.
prelim and final approval of a first floor addition remodel of 537 square feet, second floor addition remodel 594 square feet, addition of 301 square feet to the existing 2-car garage, and some other things. This is located at 4035 Ramirez Road in Hope Ranch. Last heard January 21st of this year. Do we have the applicant here? Please state your name for the record.
Yeah, Sophie Calvin.
And
So-
Keir Smith, landscape architect.
Good. There's quite a few comments, right? So I can either read through those or you can address them, whichever you think would be faster.
I think we could just read through them. I'm just not gonna go back and forth between pages to find them though. So
Okay.
if you don't mind, I would rather kind of go through the whole set of architecture and landscape and then address these comments at the end. I think that would just be simpler.
Okay, well then let me just read the comments first and then you
Okay.
can proceed as you wish.
Thank you.
First comment, A, courtyard needs further study. Adjust project to avoid nearby specimen oak tree. Design enhances quality of existing architecture. Consider further separation of pool from house to increase solar exposure. Landscape plan responds well to the site. Board supports removing walls at entry. Material palette is appropriate. Depict existing and proposed elevations on the same plan and identify floor and plate heights. Provide site sections to depict grade changes. And lastly, study privacy issues with the neighboring property as it relates to the east elevation of the storage building. So whenever you're ready, 10 minutes.
Okay, so here's the pictures of I don't know who's taking charge of these. So this is the existing house as it sits currently on site. We can go to the next picture. Or the next page. Okay, and then here's the general shot of what we're proposing to do on site. So the existing house, we're doing some additions on the north side. That's where the pool is located. Across from the pool to the east is a open-sided cabana. And then there are some retaining walls that we're proposing to do because the hillside does slope away to the north down to Ramirez, the road of Ramirez. And then there is an existing 2-car garage that you see in the motor court. That's existing. And what we did was we added a third bay to the garage because Hope Ranch has a requirement of 7-car parking. We did get a variance for the area that's in this side setback, and that was approved by Hope Ranch just recently. If we can go on to the next page. So I'll go quickly over this. These setbacks are quite large. Off Monty Road, which is the south side of the property, there are little areas that have encroached into that setback, but those were done a long time ago. It wasn't something we did. There were no additions on that backside that was there. Those were already there. So the only variation that we went through was here at the county, to the left of the 2-car garage. Yeah. So that's what was accepted and approved by Hope Ranch Association. Now that I'm on the site plan, let's look. You can see where the pool is, and you can see to the left of that, that's the cabana. Below that, further north, that is a whole subterranean ADU. The ADU will daylight out on the north side, but basically the back of that, 3/4 of the back of the ADU is subterranean. And the cabana sits above it. Next page, please. So I'm gonna go through quickly. That's the existing lower floor plan. We'll go to the next page. You'll see what we're proposing to do, which is the blue hatched area. The tower element to the left is the stairwell that takes you down from the first to second, and then it also will attach to the staircase from the ADU, which is subterranean, coming up into the lower floor plan of the house. So the elevations are all taking place on the north elevation. Next, please. So there's the upper floor plan. And the second floor plan is that we're filled in where the table is in the center of the drawing. That was an open courtyard with no roof on it. So we enclosed that to become habitable space and added a tower to it, and you'll see that in the elevations. There also is, to the left of the page, there's the blue hatch that also represents the addition to the front entry tower. And then off the library wasn't large enough, so we extended that out so that it could go alongside of that open deck, which has an incredible view to the north. Next view, please. Next page, sorry. Okay, so this one, we can go past this because that was kind of the floor plan. That's a reflected ceiling plan. And here's the roof plan. Here's the existing roof plan. So this is the open courtyard in the middle. Here's the two areas of roof that we've added. They're in blue. That's the center. The center one is the covered open courtyard as it stands now. Next page. So we really haven't changed the elevations very much at all. We're keeping with all the details that they have. They have a simple detail of plaster that is that frames each door and window. The balcony deck is not going to be wood railing anymore. It's going to be wrought iron. We're introducing all the new wrought iron to dress this up a little bit more. If we can go to the next page. So you can see on the top what we're doing, where the top it says addition to library. So we've given you an idea of how much we're extending that library to the north. And then the new entry tower beyond, and then the roof over the courtyard. So we depicted all those so you can kind of understand where things are coming. And then the image down below is the approach up to the front door. The tower to the left of that with the 3 arch windows is the entry and the stairwell. Next page, please. So here's the existing garage. You can see the image to the left. We are proposing to take that roof off flat, and the client is proposing to do a storage structure above, which you'll see in the set of plans. Next, please. So there is the 2-car garage with under the north elevation. There's a slight drop in the elevation to the 1-car garage, and they're not interconnected. And then above it is the storage room. It literally has no plumbing. It will have electricity. I don't even know if it's going to have heat, but it's just one open room with this little covered porch, just for detail and aesthetics. Next page. So here's the cabana, and you can see that the cabana sits above the ADU. You see the rock wall, the ADU. And you scroll down a little bit, you can see the floor plans for the ADU. So where it says the queen bed, the ADU floor plan, that section is kind of exposed, and you'll see that in an image. The kitchen and the media room and the staircase that gets you up to connect to the main house is all subterranean. And the cabana sits above this media room and partially over the kitchen. Next, please. So it's an open-sided cabana, and we have planting. Kira's going to discuss the landscaping with you in a moment. Next page. So these are the 4 elevations of the cabana. Now these are sections. So we show plate heights. Here's the tower in the middle of the house. And can we go to the next page? So you kind of really see what's going on here in this section, section C. So you see the bedroom, you see the kitchen, you walk up a couple stairs to get to a large media room. From there, the staircase will attach to will connect to the lower floor plan of the main residence. And then you see the interior of the tower. Next, please. More of the cross sections for the ADU and the cabana above. Next. Doors and windows, we can pass that. Next. We can go next. Next. And standard details. Next. Okay, so now this is a civil plan. So just so you know, Ashley and Vance has created a civil plan. You don't see the numbers too well here, so I'm going to read these out to you. There's cut of 470 cubic yards. There's fill of 840 cubic yards, and that leaves a net quantity of 370 to be brought on site. Yeah. Next page, you'll see the retaining walls that were put up. There's a note. Next page. Okay, so here you see all the retaining walls, what's going on. There's the pool, you see the outline of the cabana, and you see the little pop out where the chimney is, of the fireplace, and then the retaining walls moving in the direction to the north and northwest. Next page. Okay, so the house is on septic, and you can see here that this is the new proposed septic system, septic design.
So we keep going.
Detailing.
Okay. I think that
I think
should
we
be
can go
good.
right to landscaping, I think is the,
Yeah, thank you, Sophie. Yeah, this should be good here. Thank you. Yeah, so as previously mentioned, this project was seen, I think, sometime in January of this year, almost a year ago. So I just want to refresh memory a little bit. But if we can please go to sheet L1.4, or I think it's page 37, hopefully. Oh, it looks like it got mixed up a little bit. Okay, so we go down a little bit further. Let's see, L1.4. Yeah, here we go. Thank you. So this is an overview that we saw previously. We're showing different views, vantage points from Remedios Road, just as an refresh a little bit. But view one is kind of the view from the opening of the driveway, and those are the walls that we're removing. And then also yeah, so around the property, a lot of mature oak trees. So it's very well screened from neighbors and neighboring roads. If we can actually just scroll down a little bit to view 8 on the, yeah, there we go. So the board had a comment about the screening, about the eastern side of the Sophie storage structure. And if we think with, there's right now we're showing there's a mature oak tree and existing 10 to 12 foot hedge to remain. And so we think with Sophie's updates and with the existing landscape and the landscape we're also proposing, that comment should be addressed. Let's see, if we could go to sheet L1.1, actually, if we kind of go back up to where we were. Thank you. Actually, yeah, right. This one would be great. Thank you. So no real changes since last SBAR meeting. Just to refresh your memory, we're showing a pool that's centered off of Sophie's pool cabana. And then from there, we kind of slope down with the lawn down about 5 feet lower than the pool grade. And those are where those retaining elements are coming, because we know that the house to like the existing path is a sloping condition down to that existing path. And let's see, and then just to comment on one of the comments about studying, I think this was by board member Pujo, I could be wrong, but studying adjusting the pool location further away from the house, since we're on the northern side of the house. I know that the plans are flipped kind of upside down, which is a little confusing, but so we looked at this earlier on with the clients, and the further we come out from away from the house, we have to, the walls get bigger, the grading quantities get larger. And we also looked at the shading studies in 3D with the clients, and we're all very comfortable with that. So we're hoping we could keep it in the proposed location that it's currently in. Thank you. And that we can actually scroll back down to L1.5, please. Yeah, right here is great. Sorry. Actually, I'm sorry. Can we go back up to, yeah, if we go up one more sheet. Yeah, one more sheet. Thank you. It's the backyard. So again, no more changes here from last meeting. We're just simply refreshing the hardscape. It's kind of outdated, and we're also creating some more usable space for the clients. And then to touch on a comment made by, I think it was board member Grubb, about whether we're affecting existing oak trees as well as the one by the ADU. So we've since had an arborist report completed. And we are not affecting any of the trees negatively. So none of the trees are proposed to be removed or need to be mitigated for. If we can actually go to the planting, so we've formalized the planting plans, L 2.0, so down to 2.0, please.
While we're on this page, can you tell
Yes.
us, is this all new proposed plaza or, you know?
No, I'm sorry. No, it is. So there's existing patios. They're more or less in the same place. We're simply pushing and pulling here and there. But it's all, the only thing that's really new on this plan is we're slightly leveling a terrace for the new lawn above the patio. And so that's where some of I think the comments about the oak trees came from.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's down to,
So L 2.0, yes, our full planting plan, which we didn't have last time. Oh, I'm sorry, can we just go up? Because the board did request site sections. Go up one more, please. Yeah, so that site section we didn't have was the one through the pool. So that shows the existing grade and what we're doing with those terraces. That existing gravel pathway is kind of our control point. That's where we're meeting back up to existing grade or meeting with existing grade. And the civil has formalized all of those. And let's see here. So yeah, L 2.0 would be great, please.
I think we need to wrap up.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, so very quickly, full planting plan, very Mediterranean palette. The big trees there are existing, proposed field dug olive trees. Clients love San Isidro Ranch, so we're kind of riffing off of that plant palette. And so if we go down one more sheet, this backyard would be the same.
Down one. There.
Yeah, thank you.
Can I make one comment?
Sure. Yeah.
Hi, Sophie again. I just wanted to let you know that the color board was missing on this set of plans, but you had seen it on a previous, on the last time we presented, and that was letter G of the comments. It says material palette is appropriate. So I don't know how you want me to handle the color board. It will be on the next set of plans. I mean, I know hopefully we're here for final, but I don't know how you would like me to just add that to the set and give it to the planner.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, and just to finish up, thanks, Sophie. If we just keep scrolling down, please, through the lighting, planting. So this is some of the planting improvements in the entry. Okay, MWELO calculations, irrigation. Yeah. So lighting, very minimal lighting, all low voltage, some recessed, some path lighting. We have cut sheets for that. We keep going down.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. And I think the last sheet was just the color palette for our landscape, which you guys saw last time, but very traditional. Yeah, thanks. And then the arborist report, tree protection plans.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you.
This is Alex. Can I ask a clarifying question before BAR starts in on comments? Sophie, you mentioned at the beginning something about a modification. So does this project require a setback modification?
We did the Hope Ranch.
Well, I'm not talking about Hope Ranch.
Yes, it does require a modification, and I'm working with Kathleen Volpe regarding that.
Okay, so if that's the case and that modification hasn't been in yet, or is not in yet, I would suggest not taking any action today on preliminary, because you're just going to have to come back through the BAR process all over again for the modification.
Oh, okay.
Because they don't have a modification. BAR needs to make a specific finding to grant a modification, and that modification isn't before them today.
Got it. So we could come back on what level with that?
Well, you'd have to come back for preliminary once the modification is submitted, and it's before their consideration. So my suggestion today would be to, just get conceptual comments and sort everything out so that it's sort of ready to go the next time.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay, sounds good. All right, questions from the board?
Nope.
Okay, is there anyone from the public that would like to speak on this? See no one, back to board comments.
Can you put the elevations, please? Keep going. Yeah. Yeah, keep going.
More for the house, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, go to the house.
Okay, there we go. Yeah. I think it's a well done remodel, minor expansion. It doesn't change things, you know, much from what's existing, but improves the look of the house, the functionality. I'm just ready for preliminary final after the modification issues are resolved. That's my opinion.
Okay,
Yeah, I agree.
does anyone have a differing opinion or additional comments? Okay. Well, there you have it. Those are our conceptual comments. I guess, do we then just bring all of these comments through to the next time, or should we check the ones off that we think are addressed?
I need to go with the comment I made. It'll be the last one.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think we need all of them.
Okay,
It's
sounds
just-
good.
Yeah, it's
So,
just the comment I made, Alex. I think that would be the one that's carried forward.
okay, so there is the one comment about a just project to avoid nearby a specimen oak tree. Was that addressed?
Yes, I can take that. Yeah, so I would try to address that with our arborist report, and that the findings were that we are not affecting any oak trees negatively.
Even with that new garage?
Here, I do have a question about that.
Mhm.
On the first report, it says that there is an 80% encroachment and I think 70-something%. I can't get it to load on my laptop, so.
Yeah, let me check that out.
And so
Yeah, so
you
sorry, go
work
ahead.
with mitigation, even if you try to protect the tree, right?
Yeah, you can't encroach.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. You're talking about the encroachment on the CRZ.
Yeah,
I-
80% on some,
Yeah, I
Can't
think
right now.
what that's referencing is a lot of the hardscape is existing. So he's saying that let's see. Yeah, so I think that what that's saying is they have a lot of hardscape already, like the driveway, for instance, is like that we're not encroaching into we're not really proposing any hardscape that will be in addition to what is already there.
further encroaching. Okay, maybe I didn't see that in there, but it might be good just for final approval that
Sure.
clarify that it's existing encroachment.
And then as far as that third,
Yeah, I can speak to that. I mean, sorry, I'm the owner. It's right now there's two parking spots that go within 2 feet of that oak tree. So there's already a driveway that is butted right up against the edge of the tree. So we're just building on the existing paths that are already there.
for that third car garage.
Yes.
Okay, all right, any other comments? So then return when ready, to deal with modification.
So I would say to return for, how modifications work. So return for preliminary approval.
Okay, yes,
For preliminary approval for modification only?
No, it's preliminary approval for the project inclusive of the modification.
Perfect. Okay, thank you.
okay.
Can we make it preliminary final?
No.
No, that's not how mods work, unfortunately.
All right.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to number 3, I have to step down. I'll hand it over to Mr. Bloomer.
All right, item number 3, do we have our applicants? They're here in person today. All right. Where's the microphone, David, for the applicants?
I've been
You
moving
guys are
in.
welcome to use the table if you want. You can sit there. You're
Kid, if you want.
If you're feeling stately and you.
I can do that.
See how it goes.
Yeah. I also printed out, this is replicated on the sheets, but just it's sometimes hard to read when you're on like the RFI sheets, but you can pass the around. This is just material. The specs.
So this is just remind the board, this is projects here before us for preliminary and final approval. And we have comments. If nothing's changed significant from the last time you saw it, just appreciate the applicants kind of sticking to the comments below. We'll see where that goes.
Okay, great.
We have a planner memo on this.
What's the planner memo say? It's specific that they're asking for. The project's been reviewed and meets their requirements. Is that what it said, David? Yeah.
Okay.
Very good.
Okay, so the majority of the comments were landscape, basically completeness and irrigation planting plans and the busyness of the patterning that we had and also the outdoor indoor spaces. So Josh Monroe here will run through that first. And then the other comments that we had were about the stone material, and then also the elevations were of a smaller scale and need to be larger and more detailed. So I think we have everything on that, but I'll have Josh go through the landscaping first. So if you just scroll down to the first landscaping sheet, go up, please.
Morning, Josh Monroy for Common Ground Landscapes. That's our preliminary plan, and it reflects the comments by the board in the previous session regarding the busyness of the paving. If you can see, the driveway is now going to be all permeable interlocking pavers. There is a sheet with the pattern there.
Is it here?
That's it, correct.
It's in the plans too?
It is.
Okay.
Yep. So simplifying that, we had a cross pattern and some other patterning with open joints prior. So that's really the only change on that sheet there. So that's just preliminary. So if you can scroll to the next sheet, please. And this is our hardscape layout plan. So in response to previous comments, there was a comment made about adding more outdoor patio space, indoor outdoor living. So we increased the amount of paving here, as well as back here and here for indoor outdoor type living. This is all going to be poured in place, concrete, grayish in color with a sand finish with planted joints here, as well as in the back. And then here we've got crushed gravel walkways going all the way around with metal edging, metal header. Metal edging header to contain the new asphalt road there. Also new column and gates that Adam can speak to in his plans. And we also added decorative fencing to match the column and gates. That runs up to this point here where an existing chain link fence is located. So I think that covers responding to the comments and explaining the hardscape layout plan. So you can see, there's our details for hardscape with notes. So irrigation plan, it's going to be, here's our point of connection, new meter, backflow, and sub meter. 10 valves, 9 of them drip, 1 spray. We're proposing a small lawn area. It's about 400 square feet there. So again, pretty basic, pretty simple drip system. You can scroll to the planting, David, if you like. So planting plan with all of our call outs and quantities and sizes and water usage. Here's our water use calcs here. So starting with just screening hedge material all the way around. That's all proposed to be bay laurel, Laurus nobilis. And then we've got some variety with ligustrum hedge here and ligustrum hedge here for privacy from the road at the entry. Large trees, we've got starting here an oak tree proposed, Catalina ironwood. This is a crepe myrtle. And this is a cedar, Brazilian cedar. And this one here is the Canadian redbud tree. So deciduous, deciduous, and deciduous. And then these are evergreen trees here. And then we propose some fruit trees on this side of the property. Those are all evergreen: avocado, citrus, and persimmon. So the plant palette is all low maintenance, drought tolerant around the perimeters. And then when we get a little closer to the house, we have some moderate water using plants in the shady areas, begonias and various grasses, carex, sedges, and rush like chondropetalum plants around there. Also for ground cover, we've got succulent mixes. This hatch here is a succulent mix, all low water use and low maintenance. And all of our calculations come in with, 20% less, moderate water using and 80% of low water use. So that should do it for planting. Did you have something to add, Adam?
No,
Okay.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
if you're done.
Yeah, there's our planting and irrigation detail sheet here. So notes and details. And yeah, that concludes my presentation.
Okay, if you could scroll down to the elevations. Okay, they're down. No, I put the landscaping first for presentation reasons. Okay, perfect. Thank you. So this is the south elevation of the project. Actually, let me just scroll up 2 sheets just so I can just reorient everything. So this is south side of the project, north side, west, east. The entrance. Oh, sorry. Scroll up one more. We're okay. First look. There we go. So we have basically the entry path is sort of down this corridor here. We have the entry here and sort of this fountain element. We'll see renderings and such. It's this sort of like progression that we're doing there. But basically, just to orient us for the elevations, the south side, north side, west side, east side. Okay. All right. So this is the south elevation. This is looking at the house. The garage is omitted, so you can see the full elevation. All of the materials are called out with the tags and the legend on the corner. This also matches the handout that I gave you, which is also replicated on the second sheet of the set. But basically, stone is the vertical element, so it's the chimney, the stair element here and here, and then at the entry sort of portico here. And then at the columns at the gate as well, or where the stone are. And then we have this where the vertical hatching is. That is all of the hardy board vertical plank. So that is a that is a like a cedar finish. So it looks like a wood vertical patterning. And then our horizontal bands here and here. That sort of it wraps in that location. And then also on the garage itself, the bands on the garage are also a hardy board that is a sand finish paneling. So it's a dark color to sort of match the railing. Scroll down. And so this is the actually, let me talk about the west elevation real quick. There was scroll up a little. Thanks. Yeah, and so there was some comments about like the wall and stuff like here. In elevation here there's a 4-foot retaining wall on the previous property and then a 6-foot fence. So like very little, this is going to be sort of visible from there, and it's kind of almost in an alleyway. And then we planted it out to sort of like, to mask it, but it's sort of the the wall itself like helps with the form of the building. Anyway, scroll down, please. And then this shows more of the garage where we have that sort of L angle area, and that's all of the darker hardy board plank or hardy board panel. And then the inner part of the garage is all the vertical. And then we have accents of it on the main house as well, in between, where we have the a plaster that sort of wraps around. And then if you scroll down to the last page.
Can I interrupt?
Sure.
We have gone through
Okay.
this
Yes,
before,
sorry.
and really, I think there were just a couple of comments of the stone, and you provided, examples of the kind of stone work you want to do, and the land, that most of these comments really had to do with landscape and hardscape and
Can
outdoor
you show
features.
the,
I think
you have renderings too?
Yes, yeah. Scroll down to
Yeah,
the last
but
page. There's renderings.
really, it's impossible for us
Yeah.
to follow
Yeah, and you
all
can,
those materials.
yeah, you can enlarge and go really
Better
big,
with the rendering.
David, so you can see the materials here. There we go.
Yeah. So the stone coloring is a little off in the rendering compared to the images, but the patterning is correct.
Yeah.
Going for a random
You
act.
go to the one to the right, yeah, yeah, there we go. Yes, I think this kind of shows more or less what you're
Yeah.
presenting. Okay,
I mean, I think the key for you is to keep it simple and
Okay.
not get too many different materials, but.
Had a question?
First time we saw it with flat roofs or.
No.
last time did-
Yeah. There was a very early design that was very different. That it was some pitch roofs, but it's had flat roofs ever since.
Any other clarifications or questions?
I have a question. The materials, you say fiberglass windows, is that what you said?
Yes.
Is it fiberglass the whole window, or is fiberglass clad of the wood window?
Yeah, what's the?
It's a fiberglass window itself. We're using like a sort of a thin lined Milgard is what we're looking at right now. They have like this thin line that's for like a modern resident.
Milgard has one, right?
Yeah, they have a thin line one that we're looking at right now.
This option allows for paint, different paint.
Well, it
colors,
also
so you
has
can
different colors.
can't
Fiberglass,
paint
are
like,
color. Yeah, fiberglass is, fiberglass is much better than vinyl in that sense.
Right.
Yeah, dimensionally stable and UV.
So, wanna see if there's any public comment and get into word here and see where we're at.
Yep.
Uh,
No.
So do we have any public comment on this today? Okay, no letters that I know of, so we'll close public comment back to the board. So why don't we just come down the line here and start with Val? If somebody gets in the mood to make the motion, I'm happy to entertain that.
Yeah, I'm good with it.
Yeah, I think you've done everything that we asked for.
Yeah.
Actually, I still have a little bit of an issue with the stone. And it's similar to like a ledge stone that is, we see much more. The reason I mention it because, we shouldn't be very picky because the location of this project is inside, it's not very visible. But really, this kind of stone is not very, I don't see any place else in Santa Barbara that has this type of thing, as opposed to a ledge stone that was used in the 50s and 60s. You still see it in some of the neighborhood, or something that accentuates the horizontal lines. And I look at your pictures, and it does look like another animal in the zoo. Like it's one more. Like that. That's what I'm not sure how the rest of the board feels. Maybe the chair can provide some input, but it does seem like a type of stone that in this design you have strong horizontal lines and vertical lines on the siding, which is not shown here, but it's all kind of very organized. And then this type of thing seems to be a different material. It seems like it was like brick or ledge stone better. More rough, something that emphasizes the horizontals. That would, I'm not sure it's a personal opinion, somebody else shares or not.
So when you look at that chimney in that drawing, Alex,
Yeah.
what would you, just under discussion, what would you recommend? Is that clad in plaster? Is it too much stone?
Yeah, it's just like the type of stone. It appears in other places. It appears in the back. There's an
Can you see
element
some
in
of
the
other
back.
images?
Yeah, it's not just there, it's in,
And you were gonna use Santa Barbara sandstone?
Limestone.
Oh, no, it's a Hudson limestone. I have the sample in my bag. If
it's
you want
there,
to.
and it appears in the back of the
Specific,
project
but
too.
I think to get the horizontality, you could do different thicknesses of the stone instead of it's like a random ashlar kind of right now. If
Also,
it was-
and the color
if
too,
it was
is it?
yeah, if it was all running bond but different heights of stone to have a similar feel.
I was just thinking of something like a more like like a,
Well, like, I mean, I'm comfortable with that, but I think the pattern that. You go to the elevations that actually show the structure pattern that you have. Renderings maybe. Something that's supposed to do with
No, it's sandstone.
scale of it all. So we're.
Yeah, go to the elevations. If I go one page up.
Is the scale intended to be the same as it is in those photos?
It's similar scale to in the photos. The
What material is in this?
So
photo?
I would.
that's the same material.
It's exactly the same.
Exactly the same material.
all right, well, maybe it's just one person, okay, I don't know, whatever you guys decide, but I think like something more,
More horizontal.
accentuates the horizontal bands, it would be more appropriate to the style of the house, because, the sandstone is a little bit awkward, and there's nothing traditional about this design. I mean, something more modern that kind of matches the house. That would be my, again, it's not a very visible project.
I think that the stone needs to achieve like, 12 8-inch dimensions on the lifts. So, I think what they're not doing is like a thin set, dry set. They're actually doing kind of a dry set, large 8-12-inch lifts, like
Yep.
12-18-inch wide planks, right?
Yeah, we're proposing a random ashlar pattern.
The
So
size of it,
the size of it, they come in a 9 by 18, a standard size that we would cut.
is that noted in your drawings?
I put in this specification, which is it's in the description of their
Oh,
sizes that it comes in.
that's satisfactory for me.
Well, it seems like you're showing us two different textures.
Yeah,
I'm kind of trying to get.
I didn't have images from Rock Mill of it in a random ashlar. That's a coursed.
I'm trying to get to what's actually documented in your drawings. So what's documented is what?
Random broken course ashlar.
And the direct specification is to a 9 by 18 baseline for the scale, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Okay, so do I have a motion from anybody?
I'll make motion for final. That's presented.
As submitted, do I have any,
I can second it.
a second? So we have a motion with a second. Any further discussion? Okay, so all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So Chris Gillen is recused, just make sure that gets in the notes.
Very good.
Our thanks to the design team, but also to the owners for going through this process and working in good faith with us. Thank you. Hold it, please.
Right, let's go to, Blackbird's coming now or be later on maybe?
I asked him to pop into his meeting, or to the Zoom meeting when he was ready.
Okay.
I don't see Blackbird Architects, maybe we can just
Okay.
ask. Them. So, Chris, I'm not seeing the applicant for number 4. Yet, unless I'm just missing. If I'm missing you, just raise your hand and we'll call on you by number 4. Otherwise, we just.
Yeah, do we have an applicant for number 4 yet?
I don't see anybody.
Okay, so we'll move on to number 5. Which is the Klopp Trust Residential Edition request of Antonio Zikas, agent for Diana Klopp, for further conceptual review, preliminary and final of the first floor addition of 150 square feet, second floor of 656 square feet for the existing residence located at 5077 San Vicente Drive in Goleta. Last heard September 9th of 2022. Do we have an applicant for number 5? Say your name for the record, please.
Yes, I'm right here. Antonio Zikes. You can call me Tony. And I don't see the owner present, so I'll just go ahead and proceed.
Okay, I'll read through the comments from last time first.
Yeah, well, if you want to read those out, there's 5 comments.
Yeah.
And 4 of them have to do with the elevations.
All right, I'll just read through them here. So comment A, north elevation needs further study with roof lines. Consider pushing up entry roof. B, windows lack consistency. Restudy arched window, transom window, and proportions. Window proportions on second story elevation need further study. C, trellises on south elevation are too heavy. Eliminate a layer. D, colors appear too dark and can be toned down. E, return with lighting details. So if you just want to show us what has changed.
Okay, if we go to sheet 5, I think, on your plan set, all the elevations right there. Yeah, so on the north elevation, I was asked to raise that entry roof a little bit. So I pushed it up about 12 inches and disengaged it from the 2 side roofs elements. So I think that's an improvement. And I think at that last meeting, we had an arched window right above the front door. So we squared that off. Somebody suggested that. And let's see, I think that was it on that view. The rear elevation, we thinned out those 2 little trellis elements there. We took a layer off, and it does simplify things a little bit. And I did lighten up the color a little bit. It was a little dark last time, so I think we're happy with this kind of a sandstone tan look color. And those colors are called out on the on sheet. Let's see. Oh, on sheet 8, I have a color board. Yeah, there you go.
Lighting details. And
Yeah,
that's right there.
so the lighting is, oh yeah, so I have the light fixture called out on the left side of the drawing.
Okay, so any questions from the board? Okay, anyone from the public that would like to speak on this item? See no one, and comments from the board.
I think that pushing up the entry really improved it. It looks good. You might consider that window above getting a little shorter to have a little more wall between it, but your front elevation's looking good.
Thank you. Well, that window, if we stand up there, you have a nice view of the mountains. So I thought I'd keep that width and still keep it at, within scale there.
Yeah.
So, but we could reduce the width of that a little bit if you think.
Pull up to the bottom just a few inches.
Oh, okay.
Not the width. No, don't.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Just pull up the bottom.
Okay, so just one suggestion. And someone want to make a motions here for concept, prelim, and final.
I'll make a motion. I'll make a motion for preliminary and final approval with the suggestion to reduce the height of the window over the entry element 6 inches. Moving up.
Yeah,
Sill.
from the bottom up at the sill. Yeah.
We can do that.
Okay, we have a second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Okay, item number 6.
Sorry, I just want to make sure I got the suggestion accurate. Is it either reduce the height or shift it up 6 inches and keep the height,
No.
or reduce the height by 6 inches from the bottom?
Yes.
Yeah.
The second
Okay.
part.
Height by 6 inches from the bottom.
Got it. Okay.
Only.
Thank you. Item 6, T-Mobile Tier 2 small wireless facility. We should also probably state while we're here that, it's approaching noon, so we may not get to items, I would say 8, 9, and 10, but we'll see how it goes. So item 6 is the T-Mobile Tier 2 small wireless facility request of Anil Chitnis, agent for T-Mobile, for conceptual review of a modification to an existing telecommunications facility of 68 square feet. Modifications include a lot of mumbo jumbo about parts and whatnot, snow grading or tree removal. It's a 2.5 acre parcel located at 4973 via Los Santos and Goleta. And it looks like it's the first time we're seeing this. Do we have the applicant for this project? Please state your name for the record. Okay, I see Anil's hands raised. I think you just have to. It's just okay.
Unmute. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
So, sir, whenever you're ready, give you 10 minutes just to present the project, give us a little site context, and.
Okay, yeah, perfect. T-Mobile, just in order to keep up with the technology for better service, faster speed, they need to upgrade. So currently, we have FRP, which is the steeple, which has a 3 antenna solution. Going to the next step, they have to expand to like 2 antennas per sector, 6 antennas, and 3 radio. So we need to expand the steeple, the FRP. So we're right now currently, the front is, I think, 2 feet by 6 inches. That's going to go to 6 feet by 10 inches. And then the side, it's currently 1 feet by 9 inches. That's going to go to 7 feet by 8 inches. The height's going to stay the same. The material that we're going to use is going to be exactly the same to match everything. So you're showing that photo sim. So I just wanted to point that out. I mean, that photo sim is not really showing it correctly, as where you see the current existing. Look at the existing on the steeple there, right? Yeah, yeah. See, that part's going to stay the same. The slim part where the cross is, the expansion is going to happen behind that. So I just want to make sure this on this front, and I will, during our next hearing, I will send you the correct photo sim. So do you understand what I'm saying there, right?
I think so.
Right. And so yeah, that's going to be the expansion, and all the material and everything is going to stay the same. And it's stealth, like, so you won't even know there's a cell site there. If you have like the CDs, if you could just jump to S1, I think that will kind of give you a better concept. If you get, I just want to show how the expansion is happening behind like the front. Just go all the way down to S1.
There you go. There you go.
Back up. Well.
Now get the elevation. Show the elevations. No. You were good.
I just wanted to just point out, like in S1, just to show that how it's happening behind that. Then you could look at other. Scroll down to S1.
Let's look here at the elevations.
Okay, sure.
Well, that's Can you enlarge? Yeah.
And here's, we actually just to point this out, and I will send that to the next hearing. Now, if you're looking at the existing and you're looking at the new design, we actually have made the change. The expansion is only going to happen on the rooftop on the top. The bottom is going to stay the same. Can you go to the existing endpoint where the cross is? The bottom is going to stay the same. The expansion is going to happen on the top. We're not going to do anything after the rooftop. That kind of shows it in the drawings right now, but that's going to be revised. But the expansion is only happening on the top.
Gotcha. Okay, is everybody clear?
Not really. I'd like to see. I mean, we cannot explain drawings. You have to show drawings for review. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying that the top of the
So the only change is to above the roof.
So the thin part. So you're gonna have like a fat chimney on a thin support. Is that? If you go up a little bit, David. No, the other way. I'm sorry, the other way. So there. So you're gonna have a wider chimney-like thing, but then it's going to be narrower at the bottom? Is that what's being proposed?
Yeah, there's no such thing as a chimney. This is like a FRP, like a steeple.
I understand what you're saying, but in architectural terms, it will continue to be a church, right?
It is going to be a church, and only thing on the top, we're expanding the steeple. Basically, that's going, because then we need to do that because we have to have the antennas in there and the radio. So it's only going to be on the top. At the bottom, which shows on the new design, that's not going to be there. It's only going to be above the rooftop.
So it's gonna be thin below the roof and then fat above.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to, yeah, the bottom's going to stay as is.
Go back to the photo sim. Different file.
No, I think there's, yeah, like that.
Because that is fat. That doesn't look, I mean, oh, the existing, oh, I see. Can you zoom in on the bottom left, please? That looks a lot wider than it does in.
That's existing, right?
Yeah.
And the existing is a cell facility, right? No, it is, right?
It currently like tapers, so that's that's why if you go to S1, it kind of shows that like the tapering. That's why I wanted to show you. Go to S1, please. I just wanted to kind of.
It's already a communication facility, and it's getting bigger because of technical needs, right?
Yes.
Exactly. You have to upgrade for better service, faster speed.
Where is S1?
It should be all the way. Just go R. It should be S here. Is that S? Yeah, right here. See how that? Look at the plan view. See that? This is how it's going to look exactly like that. It's just going to go like that. It's just not going to be like a cinder block. It's going to be. Can I have the front? Just keep in mind this front where the cross is, and that's how it's going to look in the back.
What's the finished material?
Same.
It's like a stucco. It's going to exactly match what is there currently right now.
Which is plaster.
Well, it's a
Like
plaster.
stucco. Stephanie, is that correct? I think it's just. I know you were at the site this last week. Yeah. Whatever the material is, everything is it's going to be matching.
Let me ask again. I know I've asked before. What does FRP mean?
That means it's the term for the screening. We use that FRPs to screen. Anytime, for like church or building, it's just our term for using the screening, FRP. That's where we kind of hide the antennas and the equipment.
What is it made out of? What does FRP stand for? The revenue projection?
I'm sorry, Neil, can I address that?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
So my name's Chris Hall. I'm a SureSight. I do A&E. So FRP is fiber reinforced panel. It's basically a RF transparent fiberglass panel.
Okay, I got it. Thank you.
Yep.
So,
and the finish will be stucco to match existing in color and texture.
okay, so I think we can go to questions. I have a quick question. Why not widen the area underneath the roof? Because it's going to look top heavy and strange to widen the top, but not the bottom. It's like this.
We actually have some sims. It's not being represented very well in these drawings. We actually have some sims that we would like to provide that show the revised design a bit better, because it will actually look better.
Do you have those now?
I have an existing view that I'd like, or a proposed view I'd like to send you. We haven't completed the sim, but I have a view pretty much completed of the.
Do you have it on computer? It's only for conceptual, so we could make you the host and you could show us.
Sure.
Okay. And no, not him. Which?
Chris Hall.
They're all under my name.
Oh, so
I'll raise my hand if that helps.
Chris, you could talk because they could connect me and I could show them. I have those pictures.
Okay, there's 3 Anil people connected here. So somebody put down your hand so we know which one.
Sorry, that was me.
Oh,
there it is. Now somebody put up their hand, whoever wants to be host.
Okay, I put it up.
Perfect. All right, go ahead.
All right, so how do I share my screen?
Yes.
At the bottom.
At the bottom, a green button.
Ah, perfect. Let me know when you can see it.
We can see it. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is the proposed, correct?
Correct. So here's the existing cable chase comes up here, the existing fascia right here with the cross on, and then we would just expand behind it. You have that angled piece come up here and then it goes straight back behind it.
Got it. Okay. Any other questions from the board?
Do you have more of those? Do you have like a side view or a bird side, something else?
I do not yet at this time.
An elevation shows it, and the plan and view kind of shows it. So maybe we can go back to those.
Yeah, the plan has that view.
Yeah, but it's different because it's a
Right-
better
right
design.
there.
What they're proposing
Yeah.
is
So this would not change down here. We wouldn't have to touch the building down here. It'd just be up and above. And of course, there's an angled piece back here, which isn't displayed very well in this view.
that's a better design. Yes.
All right. Okay, anyone from the public would like to speak on this? See no one, back to the board for comments.
Okay. I like the second presentation a lot better. It seems to make a lot more sense because it leaves the same thin element going all the way down to the ground, and then the addition is to the back. I wonder if it can be pushed a little bit more towards the back, if it's feasible. It seems like but anyway, I think they're in the right track. I would like to see it better presented with all the details. And I think it's a better solution.
Okay. Anyone have anything to add?
Yeah, I agree. If it can be pushed back, then it will continue to accentuate the original vertical element better.
So you want this to go further back, right up here?
Well, if you can continue the fatter element to go back and the thinner element to continue.
I think to separate the plane, so
Yeah.
keep the thinner element going all the way up on the vertical face, and then just the fatter element to step it back just a little bit.
Oh, yes, and that's correct. So the CDs aren't updated, but you're correct. In this photo sim, we do keep that all the way up, and then a little bit further behind, we start the enclosure for the antennas.
Well, I think the comment is the more the better. More separation from the thinner element.
It's behind it.
Yeah, we'll see what we can do to make that a smooth transition and to separate those so that they're distinct elements.
Okay.
Okay. So this is
Separate
here.
them.
No,
I don't just push it back, not separate them.
I think
he understands.
I think he meant.
So it's here for conceptual. Do we want to return?
Yeah, I apologize. I don't mean to actually separate them, just to give them a little more.
Right. I think we're clear. So return for prelim final on consent.
Okay, whenever after the, they have to go through somewhere, right? Is there
Yeah. What's the path of travel here for?
They'll get it's a director level development plan. So we can take action on that and then it could come back to your board for prelim final after. If you're good with that.
Can it be on consent?
Yep.
Okay. Is anyone opposed to that? Okay.
So let me just make sure I captured the comment correctly. Study opportunity to push the wider element back from the thinner front steeple. Is that?
Yes, that's good.
Okay, and then provide more clear plans to depict current proposal.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
It's not study opportunity. I think, be more directed.
Okay, push.
Board, yeah, board supports. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, good. Do we have any for item number 4 yet? Okay, here's not. That's the Story residence.
Oh, yes, we do.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna stop the share now unless anybody still needs this.
Sorry, thank you. You're all set. We'll see you next time on consent for prelim final.
Thank you.
So item number 4, Story residents. Did somebody say yes, they are here?
Yeah, they're here.
Okay. So I'll read through that. So this is request of Blackbird Architects, architects for Zach and Linda Story for further conceptual review of a 3,850 square foot residence and attached garage on a vacant parcel located at 4404 Via Abrigada in Santa Barbara area. Last heard February 5th of last year. And as a reminder, apparently this item was supposed to be on consent for prelim final. And so we had a few comments. And so if the applicant can please state your name for the record, then I'll read through the comments.
So I'm sorry, I missed that. There was a problem with the way this,
It was
because this only
noticed.
says
It was
conceptual.
supposed to come back prelim final on consent, and it was shown here as further conceptual.
So,
Right, so the planner had asked for it to be renoticed as of the.
Oh.
So there was some concern there.
so then what can we do today?
Just look at what the changes are and see if you're still okay with that. Consent.
So I see number 4, I see the owners. I don't know if we have an applicant though.
Oh.
Hi, this is Katie Null. I'm the planner. Yeah, so I think you guys summarized it pretty well, but this project was reviewed about over a year ago. So that it took a pretty long pause. So we decided to renotice it. And that just, we renoticed it as coming back for conceptual. So nothing has really changed. So if we could, yeah, review the plans, get your guys' updated take, and then potentially move forward to prelim final next time.
Okay, so do we have somebody here to present though? We kind of need an applicant. I see Zach and Linda are here, but I'm wondering, what's changed? Or
Yeah,
should we?
and part of it was bringing a landscape plan.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, so I think we're not ready for this yet until we get somebody from Blackbird.
All right, let me call them, but yeah, you can move on to the next item.
Okay.
Okay, so it's 12:05. I mean, do we want to do one more and then go to lunch, or just go to lunch now and hungry?
I'm hungry.
Okay, so.
I'm fading over
All
here.
right, so I think
Ding, ding, ding.
we're gonna take our lunch break here and resume at 1:05. Beginning with item 4, if they're ready. If not, we will start with item number 7. So there you go. Thank you very much. We'll see you all in about an hour.
Go ahead.
Okay, so we'll now reconvene the SBAR meeting of October 21st, 2022. Going back to item number 4, the story requested Blackbird Architects for Jack and Linda Story for further conceptual review of a new 3,850 square foot residence and attached garage on a vacant parcel located at 4404 Via Abrigada in Santa Barbara. Last heard February 5th of last year, 2021. And so we have the applicant here. Please state your name for the record.
Hello. Chairman, board, Ken Mack.
Ken, so we were informed earlier today that this was supposed to go to consent for prelim final. It was agendized for concept, so we're aware of that. And I'm going to read through the comments quickly from 2021 and then turn it over to you for brief presentation, get us back on track. So SBAR comments: A, project is well designed, well presented, and appropriate for site. Return with landscape plan. Study parking area. Guest parking may be difficult to access from entryway as designed. Pull paving away from fence at guest parking and incorporate plant screening along fence. Consider planting along roadside of gate and fence. So lots of fencing. So whenever you're ready, Ken, just 10 minutes.
No less. 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Whatever changes.
Yeah, it should be quick. Yeah, we don't need a full recap of everything. I think it's
That sounds great. Member of the board, thank you. We might go just skip ahead to, it's probably around page 14 or so, L 1.0. And so we could at least cover these comments directly.
Yeah.
The project has not changed really at all, other than the development of the details. I'm not sure if you'll remember the project, but I can, and if you zoom in on the upper part there, which is the landscape plan, as close as you can, we are on our second round of plan check. So this is real now. And as everyone has experienced, COVID put a lot of things out of time. So there's a landscape plan, and in essence, it's a very, very gentle approach to the landscape, because most of the site has these oak woodland existing, outside of the immediate surround of the house. And then there's a plant palette to the side of this. But if I just talk about study parking area. So as you guys know, Hope Branch requires 6 parking spaces. So previously, if we zoom in on this a little bit, previously we had the parking spaces parallel to the cul-de-sac up there, and therefore it required more than a 90-degree turn to get into those parking spaces. So that's 90 now, so that you could kind of angle in and get to these 3 extra spaces. In addition, there was comments, this drive aisle has been made 2 feet wider since then. And that allowed, in addition to an extra 1.5 feet along this side for planting along this fence. So that's proposed. Then there's the comment about, study the parking of pull parking away from the fence and consider planting along roadside of gate entry and fence. So that's out here. If we could go up here, David, thank you. So previously, we pretty much just weren't going to do anything outside. There's some existing planting out there. But what Susan Van Natta has proposed on behalf of their clients is this butterfly garden with ceanothus. So that'll be redeveloped and replanted with this native palette. And then if we, in the set, to the right of all this is the palette that describes what's in the butterfly garden in this, again, it's very, 2 different kinds of ceanothus, in terms of the larger ones, and some smaller ceanothus, and herbaceous plants. That's well conceptualized, and the hydro zones are the plan right below this one, David. So the next plan down is the hydro zones. Again, it's a very, very simple palette, and just filling in a couple of new oak trees to fill in between some existing oak trees. And we are proposing the new planting along the roadside of the Green Insurance fence. So all those comments have been addressed directly in the landscape plan. I'm available for questions.
Okay, thank you. 4 minutes, well done. So any questions from the board?
If has anything else changed since we last saw this project?
Literally no.
Any other questions? Is there anyone from the public that would like to speak on this item? I see one person in attendees, but no hands going up. So back to the board for comments. Just to refresh me again, it's here
Just reaffirm that you want
to return for the
Yeah.
final on consent. Okay. Someone want to make a motion?
I would like to move
no,
that I
Don't need
can't
to make a
move.
motion?
I can't move.
Don't need to
but
make a motion.
I know.
Oh,
I'm
don't
moving that
move.
I can't move.
Don't move, Val.
That it should come back. Final on consent.
Okay.
And
Okay.
this is really one of the nicest projects. I just want to commend you. I really liked it when we saw it before. It's simple and elegant and so livable. It's just a great project. Want to see them build it.
That's true.
All right, thanks for coming in. That's all. Consent. All right, then, let's see. I think we're,
Next week.
yeah, that's right. We're now on to item number 7. We reviewed 5 and 6 earlier. Item 7 is the Pierce addition, request of Gina Stato, looking for Shelley Pierce for a conceptual review of an addition of approximately 105 square feet to the existing residence. Get it?
I have to step out.
Okay, and then this is located at 154 Valdivia Drive in Goleta. Do we have the applicant here for this project?
Yes,
Name for the record?
yes, I'm here.
Okay, and are you Vina?
Yes, correct. My name is Vina Bustato. I'm the agent for the property owner.
Okay, Vina, this looks very simple. So if whenever you're ready, just present and you'll have 5 minutes to show us what we're looking at.
Yes, thank you. As Alex had stated, this is a very simple project. This is an addition of 105 square feet to an existing residence. As you can see in the photos off of the driveway and the street view is the existing driveway where we are proposing an additional 105 square feet in front of the driveway. This addition was to accommodate an ADU that is being proposed on the upper level of the of that first floor, and we are needing to add access on the ADU side with an exterior door, which created more a requirement to add square footage on the first level. So basically what we are proposing, if you can look at the floor plan, sheet A1. Okay, thank you. The addition is 8.5 feet on the left-hand side, if you can see that. And it's about 12'4" on the front width. So essentially, that is making up the 105 square foot that we're requesting an addition for on the first level. And then to the right of that are a set of stairs that has an exterior access to the upstairs ADU. As you know, the ADU is not necessarily purview to the Board of Review. So what we are concentrating on is the addition of 105 square feet.
Let's go to the elevation.
Okay, so on the front elevation is the existing kind of footprint of the garage, and we are extending it forward 8.5 feet. If you can go to the first row of elevations, it'll be a little bit clearer to understand. So the front garage door is directly off of the driveway. Above that is the proposed ADU on the second floor. And the materials that we're proposing is to match the existing plaster finish as on the main residence. And then when to the left of that front elevation is the rear elevation, which extends to the back with the same stucco finish.
I think we can move quickly here. So is that it? Oh, that's the end. Okay. Like, come on.
Yeah, and these are just the side elevations, which has also the stucco finish on the first floor.
Okay, so very small bump out for the garage, matching materials. Anything else that you want to share?
No, that's essentially it. It's a very simple project and we're just matching the existing finish of the existing main house.
We'll go to questions then from the board. Any questions?
Yeah, what is that post in the middle? If you can show the on the front elevation, is it post and goes all the way up, appears in the floor plan as well.
Yes.
Why do you need that?
There is a roof above on the ADU that's open because of that notch out for the entry. So we need to support that cantilevered roof. And that's what the post is doing from the ground floor to the underside of that roof.
Can you go to the floor or side plan or whatever it is? Floor plan. Yeah,
Yes.
So, that line, is there like a missing line going from the garage to the post? I mean, like a floor above? Is that what's going on?
Yes, that's correct.
So there's a missing line or that becomes like a curve, right? Or that area in front of the front door, that square area between the garage addition and the entry. I mean,
If you are able to pull up sheet A2, which is the second floor plan, you can see the roof line that extends above.
So isn't there like, okay.
Well, let's look at the elevation, the front elevation. So that post goes from the ground floor to the underside of the roof, correct? And that roof is open and cantilevered because it notches out for the entry. So that post supports that upper roof that's opened.
Is that a metal post or that's very odd?
Yeah, we're wanting to clad it with wood so that it's more in line with existing materials.
Yeah, can you go back to, I mean, it seems like there's a line missing, maybe, I mean, there's a line missing between here and there, right there.
Yeah,
Right.
there's a floor plan of the second floor, which shows the roof with the column. I'm not sure if it's in this presentation, I mean, in the set that you have, but there is a second floor plan of the ADU.
There's no A2 in this set, it looks like.
Yeah. So it seems like it should be like a beam, you know, the post will hold a beam and then the beam should hold the second story, you know, that kind of a thing.
Yeah, there are other ways to solve that problem.
Yeah, so anyway, okay, so we have questions, I would say. Is there any public comment on this item? If so, please raise your hand. I don't see anything. So comments to the board.
Can you go back to the elevation? Yeah.
And let's just try and keep it brief and concise, and I don't think, we need to ponder too much.
Yeah, that post just doesn't make sense.
But we can't even review that anyway. It's part of the ADU.
No, the
isn't it?
post is the first floor.
It starts on the first floor.
We cannot review the second floor, we only review the first floor. Okay.
So we're reviewing half of the post.
Yeah.
You can make comments.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there are other ways to solve that roof overhang and eliminate that post. And also the building is seriously side loaded.
See, because it's an ADU, we can't
Yeah.
build that, which is.
So anyway, the comment is
Technically,
that there's,
I want a clarity on that page from the planner. I mean, I don't think we can prevent it from making comments. I just don't have purview over whether they get to build it or not.
yeah, you don't approve or deny it.
We can still advise them on
Sure.
successful architectural schemes, right?
Yeah.
I mean, to Alex, the planner, is that clarify that for us?
Well, I mean, basically, it's not subject to your review.
Right. But you can offer,
If you want to offer comments as advisory, they can take it or leave it.
Okay, so does anyone want to comment on that, or?
yeah, the project's severely sideloaded.
So we can't do the side load thing because that's the ADU.
I'm saying the project's severely sideloaded and under advisement. It'd be nice to see the client try to resolve the sideloading issue.
Anything about the column?
Yeah, I think they could restudy on the elevation there, the roof, the upper roof, which would, she could resolve that.
So study alternate to
Yeah,
the proposed
they could
column.
eliminate that post easily.
Well, also, there's a way to just put a beam between the garage and the house and hold, and also maybe hold the post and do something like it, because it would be a front porch now, the whole that square area.
Yeah.
And make it look like the post doesn't die in the soffit. I mean, it's to be a little bit more elegant.
Yes, I understand your comments. I will certainly work with the structural engineer to see if what we can do with minimizing that post and just providing maybe a beam that supports the load on the roof so that we don't have a post coming all the way down.
That would be best. Yeah. Okay, thank you. That's all the only comment. That could, I guess it could come for preliminary and final on consent.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, any other comments? Is that sufficient? Okay, so yeah, return prelim final on consent when
Well,
we're ready.
should we note that there's no existing elevation? Do we need them?
Yeah, I think we should, yeah, come back to vote. Okay, so when you return, we often or always ask for existing and proposed elevations. So when you return for prelim final and consent, bring existing elevations as well.
Okay,
All right.
will do. Thank you.
Okay, item number 8, T-Mobile at Sheffield Drive off-ramp. T-Mobile West LLC for conceptual review of the replacement of an existing operational commercial telecommunications facility at the same location, including 6 panel antennas in 3 sectors and associated devices at 46 feet, 1 inch and 50 feet, completely concealed within a radome cylinder placed on a new 50-foot single pole structure remotely connected underground to the existing underground equipment vault behind an existing fence location. All set within an existing state maintained tree grove setting on an inland side of the northbound off ramp. Okay, so do we have an applicant here for this? Please state your name for the record. All right, so I guess we don't see an applicant here. And
yeah, planner available. This is the first time we see.
Planner's not available, but we're not going to present on behalf of an applicant anyway.
Okay. All right, so moving on, item number 9, Kate School Track and Sports Field. Request of Heidi Jones from SEP's agent for Kate School, care of Sandy Pierce, for conceptual review of the replacement of an existing track field, turf, and associated sports equipment, new track, improved walkway and accessibility, connections, bleachers, scoreboard, and associated landscaping, grading, and drainage upgrades. This is at 1970 Livingston Canyon Road in Carpinteria area. And if the applicant, please state your name and names for the record, and then present.
Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Friday.
Heidi?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're a little bit faint. You might want to get a little closer to the mic. Unless, David, you turn down the volume. We can hear you, just not very well. Can you hear us? Maybe she
Can you hear
me? Yes. Oh, she can't see us either. So Heidi's raising her hand. Can you type something for her? That's not disabled. Okay, excellent. Well, should I text her?
Heidi, I would maybe try leaving the meeting and coming back in. If you can hear us.
Hello.
Yeah, okay.
I'm here too, Sam Maphis.
Okay.
And Heidi, I think, isn't Heidi on now?
Yeah, she's on, but she can't hear us. And
Oh,
she-
shucks.
We can hear her. So if you could call or text her and let her know that we can hear her, but she can't hear us.
Let me see if I can do that.
Also, I'm texting her.
Heidi, can you hear us now?
I can hear you now.
There you go.
How's everyone today? Happy Friday.
Thank you. All right, so we've got 10 minutes for a presentation whenever you're ready.
Sure. I'm going to let Sam Maphis take the lead here. I'll just give a brief introduction. This is really kind of a landscape-based project. Here's a good aerial of the site orientation and the location of the existing track. So the proposal is for a new replacement track project that includes a new scoreboard, new bleachers, some accessibility improvements, as well as site landscaping and compliance with stormwater management, et cetera. If we can go to the plan set, that would be helpful. PDF page 2 will have a similar site orientation. There you go. It's kind of in the northeastern part of the campus. PDF page 8 goes through the existing replacement track that is proposed. Eric Jennings is online as well. He's a specialty track designer, I will say. And so this will be a synthetic turf track. And then we'll walk to PDF page 11 for Sam. I'll quickly note that there are no exterior lights proposed as part of this project. And then take it away, Sam. We're here for questions.
Yeah, thank you, Heidi, and hello, board. This, as Heidi said, is mostly an expansion of the existing track and an improvement of the infield with turf. The bleachers are on the bottom of the page to the west side of the track, and then there's a scoreboard on the east side. Our task was to adapt this kind of new area that's being graded and the boulder wall and landscape around the track in such a way that it complemented the I'd say very sustainable theme at Kate School. It's kind of a foothills native chaparral type of setting in the main foothill canyons. And so what they have is a lot of coast live oak. They have a eucalyptus grove or two on the property. And one of the little groves is kind of at the far bottom or west end of the sheet where we have a eucalyptus area that we're pushing the bleachers kind of up against to widen the track for it to be a competitive, legal track. So under those eucalyptus, we are putting some different shrubs to hide and screen the bleachers from the parking lot that's just below that area. We are putting toyon and archostaples and some rosemary on the slope. So we're establishing some erosion control and some native screening that we think will do a good job with just the understructure, kind of the backside of the bleachers. They're very clean, simple bleachers, but still the school wanted to kind of soften and buffer the backside of the bleachers. On the right side of the plan, you'll notice we've added some coast live oaks that will help screen from the neighbors and the adjacent properties right there. We've got some archostaples, we've got some rhamnus and coffeeberry that will also be some screening along that area, and some deer grass, the Muhlenbergia dubia that is on the track side that would soften a little bit of the wall that's there. But as you go around the track, it's a consistent ground cover of Archostaphylos Pacific mist and the deer grass, and again, adding oaks where we can, and some rhamnus eve case. So throughout this whole property, we were looking at just being very drought tolerant and doing the screening that was needed for the adjacent areas, looking at the new track. And in general, just complementing the ground covers and grasses that make up the theme throughout the Cade campus. So that's essentially it. We're just adapting to the area and blending into the buildings on the west side, I guess, this is the south side now, or north side where the stairs are. So we've just supplemented softening all around the track. And it was really a very native and sustainable type of project for us. Everything is low, we low.
Yes, thank you, Sam. I will note PDF page 10 shows the proposed scoreboard. And this is a really detail-oriented plan set, if you want to check that out. And then sheets 15 through 17 kind of go through the details of the proposed bleachers and accessibility ramps, etc., if those are of interest. So we have are available for questions if you have them.
Great, thank you. Questions from the board?
Is there no lighting proposed because there's existing lighting?
No, there is no existing lighting and there's no proposed lighting for the track.
Okay.
Anyone else? Question? I don't. Is there anyone from the public that would like to speak on this item? If so, please raise your hand. Okay, see no hands. Comments from the board. Ms. Froscher.
I think it looks like a nice plan. I like the way the bleachers are getting tucked in under those eucalyptus trees. That'll make for, you know, a nice location for people participating in the events. It looks good.
Okay, Mr. Pujo.
I agree. I put the bleachers on the west so the sun will not.
Yeah, not
be
be in the
back.
eyes
Yeah.
and then they get some shades.
Yeah, makes some sense. Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Verdiak.
Yeah, I think it's fine. It's a good project.
Mr. Richards.
I agree with the positive comments. Where does the sign go?
It's at the.
It's on the other side.
I think you said it's on the east, so the west is the bleachers, so it'd be straight across.
Oh, yeah, right.
No, it's actually at the far right end. So it's kind of on the, what would be the south side in terms of the north arrow. So directly on that end of the track, in kind of tucked in, you can see a little dark line that shows it kind of sitting at the far end. So you can see it from the bleachers, but it's at the opposing end of the buildings that are on the far north end.
There you go. Yeah, okay. It looked like you guys were winning, so that's good. Ms. Grubb,
I think I agree with positive comments.
Mr. Bloomer,
Nothing to add.
I concur. That's here for concept. I think this would be a good candidate for returning prelim, final, and consent.
Yes.
Much appreciated.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on.
Thank
Then
you.
To our final item of the day, number 10, Wilson alterations, request of Winnick Architects, agent for Alan J. Wilson for a prelim and final of exterior modifications to an existing single-family dwelling on a 3-acre site at 701 Sand Point Road, last heard March 5th of 2021. And I see Mr. Winnick is here. Mike, great. We have a few comments from last time, so I'll just read through those real quick.
Thank you.
A, nice project. B, size, bulk, scale, and architectural style and materials are acceptable as proposed. C, landscape plan is well suited for the site and development is well organized. The proposed project fits in with the neighborhood well. D, study ways to incorporate variation in roof height. E, high hedge on east side doesn't need to extend so far to the north. F, consider colors other than black for planter. So whenever you're ready, Barry, 10 minutes and let us know if there are major changes or 7 minutes. 7 minutes. Oh, we did? Okay. Planner memo.
30 seconds.
Okay, this project was reviewed by the SFAR on August 9th, 2019. Scope of the review was a minor exterior remodel, and SFAR commented it was a nice project and could return for prelim, final, and consent. On March 5th, 2021, the project came back to SFAR as a demo and rebuild. It has been changed back to be a minor exterior remodel. the same as the August 9th, 2019 submittal. So none of these comments then apply.
Sadly.
Thanks for wasting our time.
All right.
I
How long did it take the 7 minutes?
You get 3 minutes.
So anyway, Barry Winnick Architects, if you're recording in there. So as you all know, the Coastal Commission has, or maybe you don't know, but Coastal has become very scrutinizing of projects on Sandpoint. And it's been a moving target. Most projects have not gotten through. The last project we got through the process is a new building was 815 Sandpoint, which came in front of this board many years ago now. So anyway, sadly on this, our client elected not to get tied up in the coastal process where inevitably this would lead to an appeal, just because all the projects do. So we've gone back to the minor remodel that was first proposed back in 2019. And it's basically a window replacement project, a few new window openings where we're changing the wall changes, and basically just refinishing materials and relaying out the interior. Obviously, the interior is less of a concern here. There's no added square footage. And in fact, even the comments about landscape, there's no landscape envisioned at this time. So it's a very straightforward project. So thank you for bringing that up on the screen. Yeah, so go to the next page because that's the existing building footprint. That's the existing floor plan showing the demolition. So you'll see interior walls are changing, and then somebody kindly left pointers here. The major areas of work is we're removing this bay window, so to speak, that faces south, and removing the windows that face towards the salt marsh. These windows are super high and gorgeous. These were low, very funny. The former owners apparently were fond of the sanctuary, they're bird people, and they focused their whole house on the sanctuary more than the ocean. So anyway, we're at least going to balance it off and make the ocean have as much prominence. So these windows get replaced with taller windows. These windows are being replaced with matching, and it's all going to Fleetwood. And then we're doing you'll see there's little changes in this area. We're taking out a window and adding a window for a bedroom here. And everything else is all on the inside. So go ahead, here's the proposed plan. So there's the new window without that funny bay. You'll see we've also taken off the overhang. You see the elevation. New window here, new window there. And then everything else, any windows we replace will be in the same window openings that are currently there. Next page. So the elevations are showing this. So the first elevation, unfortunately, we neglected to write north, east, south, west. So elevation 4 is the west elevation, and that's where you're seeing a window being removed and a new window being added. And then the south elevation, which is this one over here, that's where we're cutting the overhang on either side, taking out the funny bay, and making the window the full height. So it takes over that some space. On the north elevation, this is the one that looks at the salt marsh. That opening will be the same size, but it'll be new fenestration. And that's really explains most of it. Here's another view of that north elevation, maybe a more direct view. Right, those are the proposed elevations with the changed windows shown in place. Windows and doors, sliding doors here, these are slider doors there. So they're, larger panes of glass, more modern. And there's another page if you want to keep going. Next page will just show that we've got the initial section. So this is showing that south-facing side where we're cutting through the roof eave, ending off this one, and therefore getting the taller window. And it just shows it matching the sliding door that we're doing at the dining side facing Salt Marsh. And that's my presentation. Open for questions.
Thank you.
How tall are those now?
I think it's 13 feet minus a foot, or maybe minus 16. So call it 11.6.
Okay, other questions? Is there no public comments here for prelim final? I think we should really get into this one.
This is our chance.
Yeah, I'm glad I came in person.
Yeah.
Smiley's the first person to come in person. I'm curious.
No, it's happened a couple times and it's really uplifting when it happens.
I figured it was the least I could do, although I almost missed it. You picked up your pace.
Right, so any comments? Great work. You want to make a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion for preliminary and final of exterior modifications to the existing residence. Sorry, as presented, and sorry to see that it got reduced in scope, but
Yeah.
it's
Okay.
life in the fast lane on the coast.
Yeah, the coastal is definitely, it's changed, hasn't it? In the last 5 years, I feel it's changed a lot.
Yeah.
I second the motion.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Hey,
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you all. Good to see you.
yeah,
Next
come
time-
by anytime.
Yeah,
For, uh,
Chris, let's try one more on item. What was it, 7?
All
Just
right.
make sure that they're not here.
Yeah.
Is that Alex Tuttle?
Yeah.
Good to hear you.
Is there, so that is our final item, but we have no one here for item 7, no, 8.
It's
Eight, sorry, 8.
Continue to the next meeting. We have an open meeting, like corporate planners and reach out,
Sure.
find out what happened to the applicant.
Need a motion for that or just?
Yeah.
I'll make a,
That's great. Yeah. See you there.
I'll make a motion for continuance of item number 8.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, thank you. Someone want to make a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
I
Opposed?
I'm gonna count Josh.
think he
Are we out?
If we want to say goodbye.
Oh, no. I mean, bye, everybody. I miss you.